All right, hi there. I'm Gordon, and this is More Better Faster. I'm recording episode number 63 of the show today, and it's a little different. I'm starting a different, a little series that, well, you'll see. It feels pretty risky to me. So, actually, I need to get my notes open on the screen here for me. Let's see, where is that? I had them here a minute ago. There we go. And all right, so I'm going to just jump right in and get started. Hope you are having a great day. And if you have any questions, if you're watching, I can't even tell who's watching right now because I've got my notes open in front of me. But we're going to do this. So this is about changing your attitude about exercise and fitness. And all right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Changing your attitude about exercise and fitness. Are you tired of spinning your wheels, running in circles, trying to make progress with your career in entertainment and the arts? Well, this is the podcast that will change your life. Each week, we'll share strategies and techniques you can use to achieve more by working better and more effectively so you can reach your goals faster without having to work harder. Hi, I'm Gordon Firemark, and this is More Better Faster. Welcome back to another episode, and I am Gordon, your host. I'm a lawyer, a teacher, an entrepreneur, and a coach. And, in my coaching, I encourage my clients to push their limits, to step outside the comfort zone and take bold action that feels risky. Because without risk, there can be no reward. And I've got to tell you, with this episode and the next few episodes, I am following my own advice, drinking my own Kool-Aid. It's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, but I haven't done it because it feels really risky. I could really embarrass myself. But rewards follow risks, so I'm going for it. I am starting a short series about health and fitness. This month, each episode, this is the month of September. Today is actually August 31st, but for the month of September, each episode will be about an aspect of health and fitness. And then each succeeding month, on the last week of the month, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be reporting my own personal progress. So if I don't get some results, if I don't stick with it, if I let myself slide, I could be pretty embarrassed. I'd lose my credibility with you. So there's a lot at stake here for me. And you are going to be my accountability partner. So this could be really interesting. I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. You can find me G Firemark or Gordon Firemark on most of those services. And so this episode is interesting. Now, if you were watching me on the video, the Facebook Live or on YouTube, you know that I'm going to put it as bluntly as I can. I'm a fat guy. I am 55 years old, and I have been fat since childhood. I went on my first official diet when I was in the 6th grade, 11 years old. So for the last 44 years plus, I've been overweight, fat. I didn't really do, that diet back then didn't really do much for me except to undermine my self-esteem and my belief that I could lose weight on a diet. So there it is. Now, I am fat, I'm overweight, but I'm not hugely flabby. I'm strong. I'm built with a big frame and so on. I've got a belly, a barrel-shaped torso, but like I said, I carry it on a large frame, so it doesn't, I make an okay impression, I think, when I walk into a room. But still, I'm a fat guy. I make poor choices about food sometimes, but mainly it's that I don't get much exercise. Certainly not enough to burn off the excess that I carry around and that I consume. I'll say it, I hate exercise. Now, that's really a belief more than real feeling about it. And I think that comes from, among other things, some bad experiences I had with sports as a kid. So I just don't like sports. I had a coach who was terrible for a soccer team, and I ended up dropping off the team, and I just never got back into other, sports and things in school or anything else. I just don't like sports, even to watch as a spectator. And I just don't have any sort of competitive instinct or desire to win and to beat the other guy. That's just not me. I've just never liked it. Not athletics, not in my career, not in my school. It just competing never was important or never mattered to me, and not even competing against myself. It just isn't for me. And for me, exercise isn't fun, and it's boring. Now, all of these are beliefs, not necessarily, truths that I have to expound. I have other excuses, also limiting beliefs that I use to explain my lack of or reluctance to exercise. I have bad knees and a bad back. Now, ironically, I know this. If I exercised, I would strengthen the muscle groups that support my back and my knees and my hips and things. And they probably wouldn't be as bad as I say they are. So it's sort of a catch-22 convoluted, twisted logic that's there. I also say I don't have time. But this one I can disprove easily. Lots of successful people, highly successful people, lawyers, entrepreneurs, educators, coaches, people who do the same things that I do, they make the time for exercise and fitness because they take it seriously and view it as important. And the reality of it is that exercise doesn't really take that much time. It just doesn't. We're talking about relatively small chunks of time in order to make some, really big changes over time, like I've said in other episodes recently. So another excuse that I use is that it's too hot where I live. I live in the high desert outside of Los Angeles, and it does get really, really hot here. But, I could exercise in the evenings or at night. I could get up early in the morning before it gets hot. I could exercise indoors where there's air conditioning. I can do lots of things. So that's just another lame excuse that I use just to avoid doing something I don't want to do. And then, of course, here's a big excuse. Pandemic, I can't go to the gym because it's either not open or it's not safe. And, the truth is, I have a membership at our local YMCA, which is the gym that I've used. And even when I could go, I rarely went. I didn't use the gym the way some people use the gym, even though I always felt pretty good after working out. It was never enough of a good feeling to keep me coming back over and over again. So starting today, this is going to change. I am changing my attitude about exercise and fitness, and I'm inviting you to go along on this journey with me and change your attitude as well. I'm setting an intention that as of now, I have a new, more positive, more beneficial attitude about exercise and fitness. So here's what I am telling myself and you. I hope this will help you. It'll help us all be a little bit healthier, a little bit stronger, and able to achieve a little bit more, better, faster. Isn't it funny that I said I'm not one to be competitive, and here I have a podcast and coaching devoted to achieving more, better, faster. But that's about achieving for our own personal reward, not as a matter of competing. Anyway, so here's what I'm telling myself, and I hope you'll take this on board too. This all starts with love. When you love someone, you want to take care of them, right? If you saw someone you love in danger, would you take action to help? Of course you would. And if the people around you, people you care about, let's face it, they need you. They need you to be around. They need you to be healthy so you're not a burden on them. Nobody wants to be a burden, right? So the loving thing is not to be a burden on them. It's to take better care of self, so you do that. And they need you to set a good example. Your children, those people around you need to see you as a good example. And that's how I'm taking this. I have not, to date, been setting a good example when it comes to my personal health, my fitness, and so on. So I ask you, if someone you care about needs to take better care of themselves, you're going to do what you can to help them, yes? I mean, you're not going to nag them and pester them, and you may not even say anything, but you'll support them, you'll encourage them, right? Well, I'm going to ask you this. Do you love yourself? Now, if you don't feel that you are an important person worth taking care of, then this is a bigger situation. We have to love ourselves. If you don't have that sense of caring for yourself, of loving yourself, and I'm not talking about self-esteem, I'm talking about actual, genuine, love, caring for what happens to you. If you were totally disinterested, you don't care if you're a risk taker, I would encourage, seek some professional help to get to a place where you can feel love for yourself, because that's important. Nobody else can love you fully unless you love yourself. So there's that. Now, so if you don't feel that, get to a place where you can do what you have to. But if you do love yourself, you've got to prove it every day. Loving yourself means looking after your health, all of it, all aspects of your body, your mind, your spirit, your energy, in your work, in your play, in your relationships, all of it. You have to take care of yourself. You have to look after yourself just the way you would for your children, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your clients, customers, whatever. You have to take care of yourself the way you would take care of others, or better. That means keeping the machine running smoothly, eating well, exercising, caring for your spiritual needs, meditating, prayer, devotional reading, whatever it is that serves you spiritually and energetically. It may mean setting up routines where you turn on that exciting, energizing music in the morning, or whatever you do. So I am reframing some of my excuses. The too tired excuse, it's just not true. If you live in a cave, if you're back in caveman times and you lived in a cave and you got to the end of your day and you've been out hunting or gathering your food and you're tired and you're worn out, but you show up at your cave and, oh crap, there's a saber-toothed tiger looking to eat you. And, would you just say, I'm too tired? No, you'd run. Even though you're tired, right? You would run because your life depends on it, because you would be afraid of what could happen if you don't take care of yourself by running away or fighting, but mostly it's running away. So you have to push past that feeling of being too tired. You have untapped reserves. We all know that. You can do it. So make the choice. Take care of yourself. Guess what? Even though you are not in imminent danger of being eaten by a carnivorous apex predator, your life, or at least the length and quality of your life, does depend on you moving, taking action. You should be afraid of being sick, of being a burden on your family, of being dead. You should and can find the energy for a bit of exercise. After all, we are talking about, as little as 20 minutes to take a walk or go for a run or hit the treadmill or the rowing machine or swim or go for a hike, whatever. You may find that you end up going for more once you get started. So just get started. Work out even just a little bit. Go for that walk, run, bike ride, whatever. Take your dog out for a walk, or your partner. Make it a romantic connection time. There's no reason it can't do double duty, right? So reframe, I'm too tired, into I'm going to do this because I care about myself. I'm doing this even though I'm tired, because it's necessary for my survival. Because it is. Now, reframing the I hate exercise belief that I expressed earlier, that also not true. There are kinds of exercise that I've tried that I certainly didn't care for. So don't do a form of exercise just because your friends, your colleagues do, or they say it's great, or it's the best way, or whatever. Find and try different forms of exercise and find the ones that you do like. Make it a journey. Make it an adventure. Experiment. You might find you love rock climbing or surfing or I don't know, golf or whatever. Find that exercise that you do like. There are lots and lots of activities out there that will get you moving, get your heart rate up, a little sweat going, get you doing something. Frisbee golf or maybe it's just running. Who knows? Find the things that you like and find some variety. Maybe it doesn't always have to be the same exercise. Lift weights one day, get some cardio in another, those kinds of things. So spice things up. Variety is, after all, the spice of life. Now, I also said, well, it's boring. It's not fun. Well, it doesn't have to be boring. You don't like going to the gym? Try working out at home or working out outdoors. Hiking, running, biking, rowing, swimming, these don't require a gym, and they are all great exercise. Maybe it's taking a taekwondo class or studying jiu-jitsu or I don't know, tai chi, which is that very low impact, slow moving energy, that yoga, right? All of these things can be done, either at a studio or at home. You can do, follow YouTube, do yoga videos on YouTube. My daughter does yoga videos on YouTube. The same thing applies to the other excuse or belief is I don't have money for a gym. Once again, you don't need a gym. Who says you do? All right, so a few other tips I want to share. Get a buddy to exercise with for fun and for accountability, right? Having that person who's expecting you to show up makes a difference. Having that person who's asking you, hey, did you work out today? It makes a difference. Try gamifying things. I said earlier, I'm not a competitive type, but, having a tracker, an app on my phone, on my Apple Watch, allows you to set some achievable but challenging goals. And then you can track your progress and you can celebrate your achievements. Now, one tip I do want to say here is you shouldn't overdo this, all right? If you are not in great health, which I'm not, talk to a doctor before you embark on any major new changes. If there's something, if you have a problem with your back or your neck, maybe you want to make sure that the exercises that you do opt into doing are safe and healthy for that condition. You don't want to make things worse. Listen to your body because it will tell you, hey, that's enough. If you're listening and in the moment, don't push too far past your limits at any one given time. Yes, you want to push the limit so that the limit moves and you expand your flexibility and stamina and those kinds of things. But don't overdo it at any one time. We're talking about making a lifestyle change here. So you don't want to do something the first time out that's going to make it 2 months of healing before you can go back and do it, right? Small incremental adjustments to the workout, to the exercise, and so on will lead to big changes over time. Your improvements will not, in most instances, be visible overnight, right? The point is, set a goal and track it over time. Make sure you're doing the activity. This is true of any goal, of any achievement you're trying to accomplish. You will accomplish more, better, faster by setting those small goals and sticking to the plan, having actions every day, couple of days, week, whatever. So make that lifestyle change part of your more better, faster action plan. So now let's talk about the accountability. Now, I said earlier, have a buddy, an accountability partner, but also make your goal. Set it for 90 days. What are you going to do for the next 90 days to improve on the exercise front? Now, mine is to exercise for at least 20 minutes, 4 times per week for the next 90 days, 12 weeks. Do the math. 12 weeks, 20 minutes times 4, right? So what is that? That's almost it's I want to say 9,600 minutes of exercise over the next 90 days. 3 times 20 is 60 times 12. It's 12 hours worth of exercise over the next 90 days. That doesn't seem like that much, but I'm going to be using my Apple Watch to track it and one step at a time. For starters, I'm going to exercise 4 times this week. And I'm going to celebrate and reward myself for doing so. I've had my eye on a pair of the new AirPods Pro from Apple, which will make my workouts much more enjoyable too. So I'm going to treat myself to that pair of AirPods Pro. It's a couple of $100 pair of earbuds. I've got other earbuds that are, super cheap that work fine, but they're just not as nice as the AirPods Pro. So I'm going to get those when I have had my 4th workout this week. So today's Tuesday. So probably, by next Tuesday, I'll be making a trip over to the Apple Store or to Costco or ordering online or something and getting that pair of AirPods Pro for myself. So that's going to be my celebration. Those kinds of, that's not a little one. That feels like kind of a big one, but it's also the first week out. So I'm going to reinforce the positive behavior with something that makes me feel good and makes the exercising easier going forward. And then I'm going to try to reward myself periodically with just little things to, give myself positive feedback, that positive reinforcement so that I'm doing more and sticking with it. So I'm going to ask you this. Make your own goal. If you're on board, join me for this little adventure. Write out your goal. What are you going to do in the next 90 days? And then break that down into action steps over each week for the next 12 weeks. And go public with it. Post on Facebook or something, and share it with a buddy who's going to keep you on track. Find that accountability partner. If you don't have anybody you trust, and by the way, the accountability partner should not be someone who's close enough to you that them reminding and bugging you about it and so on could jeopardize a personal relationship. I mean, obviously you want it to be a friend, someone who cares about you and is friendly, but a spouse or a child is probably not the right person for the accountability in this instance. You want somebody who's going to not be afraid to give you a little shove and push you. And maybe that is your spouse, but anyway, share it with a buddy who'll keep you on track. And if you don't feel you have someone that you can count on to do that, drop a comment in the show notes for this episode at morebetterfaster.media, or DM me on Instagram. It's at Gordon Firemark, or on any of the social media, really. And I'll try to get in there and hold you a little accountable. Let me know what your goal is, both for the 90 days and the week to week. And then go out and do it. Get a little exercise. I will be back next week, and we'll be talking next week about healthy eating, which is another one of my areas where, the kryptonite. Tasty food is my kryptonite, as they say. And we'll talk about that. And then the following week, we'll get into the mental health side of things, and we'll talk about spirituality in another area. And then at the end of September, we'll sort of wrap it all up. And then I'll plan on continuing the accountability in the form of monthly reporting. That'll be the last weekend of last episode of each month. I will do my accountability, and I'll ask you to, tell me your wins, and we'll celebrate them a little bit. So that's it for this episode of More Better Faster. I'm Gordon Firemark, and I thank you for being here, and go out and get some exercise this week. See you soon. All right, that feels risky to me. And now that I've said it and I've gone public with it and I'm publishing this episode, I got to do it. All right, well, that's it for this episode, and I will see you again next week when we talk about food. One of my favorite subjects, but not for the reasons I wish. Okay, see you soon. Bye.